So today I'm going to be talking about my own personal introduction to lore. Um, we all love a good TV show or video game that features a decent amount of cryptic lore, and that's because it's designed to pull you in and captivate you. And it's a great tactic, honestly. If I were to make a TV show or a video game, I would include a lot of it. It's interesting. It pulls you in. It makes you want to know more. So like examples of TV shows and video games, the biggest ones are probably Five Nights at Freddy's, obviously, unless you've been living under a rock and you don't know what that is. It's insane. It is completely insane. Thank you, Scott Cawthon. Adventure Time apparently has a lot of lore that I wasn't aware of. I still have not gotten around to watching it. I never watched it as a kid. I watched one episode. It scared me and I had nightmares. Nothing compared to Courage the Cowardly Dog though. That was a terrifying show. Yeah, but anyways, moving on. Steven Universe. I watched about 3 seasons of it, and that's kind of when I fell out of it because I don't know, I wasn't feeling it anymore. And also, I can't say that. Other video games being apparently Resident Evil. I'm not gonna lie, I've never played a Resident Evil game. And The Legend of Zelda. I love the Legend of Zelda games. They are amazing and perfectly well crafted. Especially Majora's Mask. And the fact that it has like reoccurring characters, like not main characters obviously, but reoccurring characters throughout the like series of video games is really cool. I think that's really awesome, especially with Breath of the Wild. Just like unveiled like a ton of new stuff that like we have kind of a grasp on. If you've played every single game, you kind of know what's going on. It gets redundant as it goes on, explaining everything, like who Ganon is, and like, if you don't know who Ganon is, why are you playing a Zelda game? Like, people that started with Breath of the Wild need to, like, take a step back and buy a Nintendo 64. Anyways, my personal intro to, like, something with incredibly deep and cryptic lore was Gravity Falls. It is an amazing show. It came out when I was in like 4th grade, and I watched it and I cried. I became utterly obsessed with this show because it's amazing and it catered to my little knowledgeable brain, and like I wanted to know more about this, and it also opened up my love for the weird, the unknown, mysteries, the supernatural. I love Alex Hirsch. I love Alex Hirsch. He's the creator of Gravity Falls and several other cartoons that have aired around like cartoon channels. He is so creative. Like, this show was incredibly creative, and it had interesting characters, and just it was great overall. I loved the entirety of it. There is not a critique I can make on this show. Like, even the villain, Bill Cipher, was perfectly crafted sociopath, and it's just great. Like, everyone loves to see a sociopath, or in this case, kind of a psychopath. He enjoys like creating chaos, and that is something that humans are drawn to. It's weird, but it's true. Like, Bill Cipher is an entity of chaos, and he brings it wherever he goes because he wants to. It's his favorite activity. And I think that's great because the show was not pushed at all. Like, I don't think it was pushed to end. It ended perfectly. Like, at the end of the show, Weirdmageddon, the 3-part ending, it was perfectly well tied up. Like, everything was, I mean, except for Seuss not finding his dad. I mean, at least I don't think he did. I think we got everything covered. And it's like, it was a bittersweet ending, and I was bawling my eyes out back in 2018. I remember it. I remember watching it, sitting on my bunk bed in the room that me and my sister shared. Like, it was incredible. Like, it was such a memorable ending. Oh, and I watched it live on cable. It was crazy. Like, that was the moment of my life. Like, I literally marked a calendar and said, you have to remember this. You know, because I'm a little bit forgetful, but because this has been one of my long living hyperfixations, it was stuck in my brain. It was literally all I could think about. So yeah, it was amazing, and I loved it, and the show again was so perfectly well crafted, and the fact that it had so much lore that was sealed together at the end, it was crazy. Like, I mean, the one thing that I probably could critique was how the portal worked. I mean, we all know that Ford is a super, like, intelligent genius man, but, like, we don't really know how that technology came to be back in, like, the 60s, I believe, is when they were, like, kids, so, like, around the 80s was when the portal to the different dimensions was crafted, all those things. But it's so cool that it, like, brought a real place, like Oregon. It takes place in Oregon, which I believe is where the Bill Cipher statue lies. Because Gravity Falls got its entirely own ARG at the end. It's crazy. Like, I want to visit the Bill Cipher statue. It's on my bucket list for sure. I cannot wait to see it in person one day. I don't know, I hope it's not, like, destroyed. That would be terrible. But it had, like, cryptic messaging. Like, if you've watched the show, at the end of every episode, there's, like, a page of one of the journals, in there, and it, like, eventually it maps out all of the, portal, and, like, the plans and stuff to make it. It's really awesome, and also, I think, near the end of the show, it maps out everything, that's, like, incredibly important to the show, and as a child, I wasn't really... I wanted to, like, draw it out, but, like, on a cable, like, TV show, you can't really pause it and trace it out, which is what I would have done and what I thought about doing so many times, but I couldn't, due to limited resources. Yeah. Like I said, like, this show is amazing, the lore is incredible, it's creative, like, it was one of the most creative shows of its time. Like, I still would like to say that it is my favorite cartoon, and it was so good. Like, I was so sad that it ended, but when I was little, I wanted it to get a spin-off, but now, as I'm older, I've taken the time to appreciate Gravity Falls for what it is, because it is amazing. And it's like, it kind of has that whole, friendship is magic type vibe, but it kind of just... Triangle Man. He pulled everyone, mostly every young person in Gravity Falls together to help defeat him, it's really nice, and it's a really nice ending, and I loved it so much, and ow, I just bit my tongue. Everything makes sense at the end, and, like, the initial confusion drives you to keep watching it, and I think that is a genius plan. Like, if you ever want more watch time on a show, have it have lore. And don't just randomly throw it in as you go. That's just sloppy. Like, keep it subtle from the beginning and have people acknowledge it, but just slowly carry it on. Like, that's what Gravity Falls did. There was, at the beginning, perfect little episodes. Little Misfortunes episodes. I think it started getting to a serious point once Blynden Blandin came in and started messing with time, and they got their hands on a time travel device. It's really great. Actually, when I was younger, me and my friend actually had a Dipper hat, and I think they own one of the journals, the third one, obviously. I want the journals so bad. Unfortunately, I'm broke. fun. But I just, it's great, and that is, like I said, where my love for things with deep lore came in. That's why I'm so obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's. It's great. I'm not gonna go into it yet, but things like FNAF are great. I love watching unsolved mysteries, like things of that nature, real world stuff versus fantasy. They're both completely different because one of them is very serious and one of them you can take lighthearted or be serious about it, I guess, if you want to. But people like MatPat and FNAF, FNAF, the YouTuber, scrounge and dig through, source codes and files, and through each update. MatPat has a team of people that helps him. I'm pretty sure FNAF just does it because he wants to, which is great. I love that. I would do that if I had a computer. Oh my god. But it's crazy because, I'm sure there was ways to dig through the lore on the internet, but I was, 10 when I was, 9 when the show came out. 9-ish, 8 probably. 4th grade. Yeah, 9 years old when the show came out, and I was 13 when it ended, 12 or 13 when it ended. It was great. Three seasons, of just perfectly well crafted, amazing, creative. It was so creative. Alex Hirsch is an incredible storyteller, cartoonist. He did the one show on Disney XD, the one with the Big City Greens. That's it. He created that. He's created a bunch of other stuff and done a bunch of other stuff and worked on a bunch of other stuff that I just don't know about, but I know he's had influence in. But it's crazy what this guy can do. And, he based Gravity Falls off of his own life with his twin sister, which makes it even more special because it's bringing the relationship he had with his twin sister into, their imaginations, into this, big whole thing that they wished about when they were kids. Oh my god, it's amazing, and it's beautiful, and it's great. Sorry. Can you not? Oh my god.
It's been up.
Anyways, it's gonna be dark now. That threw me off. But it's just crazy and wild, and that was my introduction to, cryptic lore. That's how it all started. Since I was little, have been obsessed with the unknown and cryptids and all this fun stuff, but not in, a Tumblr way, and more of a, I want to find this kind of way, in a Sam and Dean Winchester kind of way, because I started watching Supernatural, the show, when I was, when I was 14, maybe 15, I think. No, definitely 14. It's been a long time since I've watched Supernatural. I kind of cut myself off after season 15. Sorry, guys, but it fell off. I'm just gonna say that. But it really got me into being who I am today. When I was, younger, I would watch, those clickbait, 5 scary ghost sightings. I fell for it, but I genuinely believe in, the supernatural, you name it, the classic Skinwalker, Wendigo kind of stuff, but then also, folklore type things. Also, I'm pagan, so I kind of have to. If I don't, that's kind of going against my whole religion. It depends on how you perceive paganism, but I choose to believe in the unknown and, all these entities. And it's great, because I got thrown onto my own track, all because of Gravity Falls, and I think that is beautiful, and it's so good. It's so good. The show itself is a work of art, and it's a personification, kind of a personification of, Alex Hirsch's, childhood, and it's really great, and I love it so much. thank you, Alex Hirsch, for creating the perfect cartoon for me and setting my life on an amazing track of discovering things and, like, just obtaining tons of obscure knowledge about things with a lot of lore and just mysteries. Like, also another thing I've been really into within the past, like, in the past, like, 3 years, I haven't really been into it much now because I realized it was weird, but, like, I really liked, not, I didn't like it, but I was intrigued by the Zodiac Killer. You know, that guy that we just found out his name was, like, Greg or something. I was blown away when, after I had almost so recently, like, learned about this, that he became discovered, and he's been dead for a while, I think? Maybe? I don't know, but we know the guy, now, which is bizarre. But yeah, thanks Gravity Falls for my love of the unknown, and the mystery, and the supernatural, and just lore in general, because I love cryptic things. It's great. I love it. Perfectly well crafted, amazing, the best show to ever be created. Controversial opinion, whatever. Like and subscribe, I guess.